Okay. Hi. Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday here at noon on YouTube. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have all of the therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Okay. So got some stuff to get out of the way first, and then we are going to dive right into it. All right. I have a new website. So the website is www.chrisgodinez.com. So that will have links to the Eventbrites. It will have links to the books. It'll have links to blogs. I'm going to start putting blogs up there and things like that. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Hi, everybody. It's good to see you. So that is www.chrisgodinez.com. So that is my new website, one-stop shopping. It's also going to have merchandise and things like that on there once we figure out what the heck we're doing. So, all right. So right now, the live Chris Godinez / Mercury events are listed on Eventbrite and Facebook. And if you do not see your city, if you don't see me visiting somewhere near where you are, please write us at either me, Chris, K-R-I-S, at Mercury, MURCURI.com, or my manager, Chris, spelled with a C-H, C-H-R-I-S, at MURCURI.com. Blah. All right. Also, we've got the We Need to Cruise with Chris Godinez 2019. Tickets are on sale now, people. Check out Eventbrite or write to me at either Chris, at mercury.com for more information. And we'll start with that. Also, wanted to let you know these bad boys, my books that I have written, What's Wrong with Your Dad and You Can Lead a Horse to Water, but You Can't Make Him Cha-Cha, are both available on Amazon, and they are both Audible, and I do the narration. So you get to hear me read the books to you. So there is that. Also, the mugs are still for sale on eBay. If you are interested in owning this lovely 20-ounce mug, there you go. Also, I wanted to do a ginormous shout out for one of the listeners. They have written a book, and I'm really proud of them. This is Matt Davis. Hang on just a second. It is called, and it is on Amazon, it is called The Vampire Hunter's Field Manual, A Survivor's Guide to Narcissistic Abuse. So I just want to do a huge shout out to Matt Davis. Go check it out. It is on Amazon. The Vampire Hunter's Field Manual, A Survivor's Guide to Narcissistic Abuse. This is not a psychological book. This is written from somebody who has been there, done that, and survived. So Matt Davis, you rock. I'm really proud of you. Good job. So guys, go check it out. And this is what I'm talking about. When I say I want you guys to write, I'm not effing kidding you. I want you guys to write. I want you to publish. I want you to scream to the mountaintops what you have been through. You know why? Because narcissists are like freaking cockroaches, and when you shine a light on them, the motherfuckers scatter. So I want you guys to write. If you've got the great American novel in you, write. If it's about narcissistic abuse and surviving it, write. If you're going to do a fiction about it, write. If you're going to do a real, this is what I went through, this is how I survived, this is what I've noticed, write. I want you guys to write. I want you guys to get it out. I want you guys to get out there. I want this stuff to be so well known that when one of these cockroaches come crawling out from underneath the rocks, that everybody's going to go, get the shoe. Do you see where I'm going with that? That we won't put up with it anymore, because people think, oh my God, people can't really act like that. Well, they do. So I want you to check out Matt Davis's book, The Vampire's Field Guide to Surviving, or it's The Vampire's Field Guide, Survivors Surviving Narcissistic Abuse. It's on Amazon. Go check it out. All right, cool beans. All right, I want you guys to write. I'm not kidding you. When you tell me that you're writing stuff, I will definitely put it up here. I will definitely do a shout out to you guys, because this stuff needs to be totally well known everywhere. It's like there's no excuse. There's no excuse for abuse. There is no excuse for silence. There is no excuse for people not telling their stories. And the thing that keeps us quiet is fear. And that, my friends, is bogus bullshit. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you need to write under a pseudonym, write under a pseudonym. Change all the names. Make sure that you're, talk to a lawyer. Make sure you're not going to get sued. But you change stuff so that you can get your story out there. You can write it as a fiction. You can. You could totally write it as a fiction. It's like a tale of survival. Or you can be like, look, this is what I've seen these fuckers do. You know what I'm saying? Just write, do it, publish, scream it from the mountaintops. Do not be silent. That's what they want. Every single abuser that tries to come on here and be a troll or tries to write nasty stuff afterwards, their whole goal is to shut me the hell up. Well, let me tell you something, motherfuckers. I'm not going to shut up. That is not who I am. I do not intimidate easily. I am a fucking Irish woman. Never fuck with an Irish woman. Ever. We tend to go screaming into battle naked with axes. Not a good idea. So, and I will get rid of people that do that. So if anybody is disrespectful on this page or is harming somebody else on this page, your ass is going to be banned. That's all there is to it. So write, guys, do not be quiet. Do not allow them to make us go quietly into that long, dark night. Fuck that shit. Write your story. Shout it from the mountaintops. Educate. All right, sorry. Whew, got a little hot about that one. There we go. Boom. All right, so today I want to talk about sex as a weapon. So we're going to do a little bit of revisiting about how they hoover, how they love bomb in the beginning, but then I want to talk about what they do as the relationship goes on, how they use sex. So, okay, let's think about this. So in the beginning of the relationship, what a narcissist does or what an abuser does, whether they're a narcissist or not, what they do is they read the person. They see what is important to that person. And you know what? I just realized I forgot to talk about upcoming dates. Oh, Jesus God, sorry, got sidetracked. This is what happens when I get passionate about shit. All right, so to let you guys know, sorry, March 23rd, New Orleans. March 23rd, New Orleans. We have the place, so go check it out on Eventbrite. July 4th, I'm going to be speaking at the Mensa Convention in Phoenix at the Sheraton. July 6th, I will be in Santa Barbara. We also have the place for Santa Barbara. July 13th, St. Paul, Minnesota. So I'll be in St. Paul, Minnesota, July 13th. August 3rd is Anaheim, California. August 31st is San Jose. September 1st is San Francisco. September 2nd is Sacramento. October 19th is Austin, Texas. October 20th is San Antonio. And December 4th is the cruise to the Bahamas. So, boom, there it is. Quickly, what are you going to learn on the cruise to the Bahamas? I'm going to hand out a goodie bag. There's going to be journals in there. I want you to journal. I want you to journal, and I want you to journal about what you want to learn on this cruise, and I will incorporate it in. I also want to teach you guys how to do guided imagery. I want to teach you guys how to start working with your inner child. I want to teach you guys how to breathe, how to go no contact, how to maintain no contact when you've got crazies texting, call, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to teach you guys as much as I possibly humanly can in 4 days. And you will have total access to me because I'm going to be hanging out on the ship. We're going to be eating together. We're going to be doing all sorts of fun stuff. Karaoke. We're going to be doing karaoke. All right. So anyway, there's that. Sorry. Back to what I was saying. So the abuser will read the person. They read their target. They are doing fishing expeditions. What do you like? What do you not like? So remember, it's just like Frozen. Remember that movie Frozen with Princess Anna and Prince Hans? And Hans checked her out to see what she liked and what she didn't like. And oh my goodness, suddenly he's loving everything that Princess Anna liked. You like pizza? I like pizza. You liked ice skate? I liked ice skate. You like moose? I like moose. It's that type of thing. And they do that sexually as well. And so if they figure out that sex is important to their partner, they will come off as the most sensual, the most amazing, the most sexual person on the face of the planet. Oh, I love sex. Oh, I love this. I love oral sex. I love talking about sex. I love, this, that, and the other thing. Okay. And then they love bomb. The sex is great, right? In the beginning, the sex is great. But then as soon as they get their hooks into you and they've gotcha, suddenly the sex dries up. So it's this pattern of too much, not enough, too much, not enough, too much, not enough. This is the world that abusers live in themselves, which is why they then project onto us and say that we are too much or not enough. Too much Not enough. Those are the two circles they live in. They don't live in the here and the now. They live in this perfect ideal that does not exist. Okay, so what ends up happening is they love bomb, love bomb, love bomb. They use sex. Oh, look, I love sex. This is great. Sex is the most wonderful thing ever. And you're thinking, jackpot, But then you get into the relationship and all of a sudden, they are now making you wrong for being a sexual creature. Like seriously, like they will go from, and there's variations on this, and I want to talk about this because it's not 100% cut and dried. Okay, nothing ever is. But in one scenario, what they do is they go from love bomb, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb. I love sex. I love to be with you. I'm very sensual. I love to be touched. To don't touch me. I don't want sex. You're repulsive. You're this, you're that, you're an octopus, you're a nymphomaniac, you're blah, 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 blah. And then the sex dries up and there's no more sex. And then you're left sitting here going, but I don't understand why when we were dating, this was great and you liked it. And now you're telling me that I'm not good enough or I'm not pretty enough or I'm not handsome enough or I don't have enough muscles or whatever the issue is. They start twisting that whole thing. So in a healthy, normal relationship, sex is a natural expression of the love you feel for that person, and it's about pleasuring each other and it's about intimacy, emotional intimacy. You can have sex without emotional intimacy. It happens, okay? And that's really what the narcissist is going for. They just want to get their rocks off. They don't want to have that emotional connection to somebody because it's uncomfortable for them because they don't understand emotions. So what they'll do is they'll make you wrong for being a sensual person. They'll make you wrong. How dare you? Well, you're a slut, you're a whore, you're this, you're that, you're a game player, you're, whatever it is. And it's so funny because everybody thinks I'm always talking about male abusers. I'm not. Female abusers do the exact same goddamn things. They do. It's, again, the Vampire's Field Guide. It's like they have a manual. They do. And they say the same things no matter where in the world they are. Okay. Now, caveat. Here's the other thing they do. So they either go with the whole, drying the sex up and withholding sex. That's really hard on the partner because the partner's left going, wait a minute, you used to tell me I was beautiful and handsome and sexy and this, that, and the other thing. And now you're like doing the polar opposite. I'm so confused. And then they make it all about you, right? You're out of shape. You're the wrong hair color. You're this, you guns, right? Okay. So they do that. So the other thing that they do is they will ask the partner to engage in sexual acts that they would not otherwise engage in. Okay, they're looking for blackmail. So what these people do is they get the person into the relationship. At first, it's it's exclusive. It's this, that, and the other thing. The next thing if they're this type of abuser, then they're going, oh, well, I want polyamorism, or I want to do an orgy, or I want a threesome, but I want to tape it. So what they do is they get the partner to agree to doing something with other people. They videotape it. Or videotape, it's not videotape anymore. I don't even know what it's called anymore. The technology. They film it. No, there's no film. Shit. They put it on something that saves it. Okay. And then they use it later on against the person as evidence that the person is morally inferior, and that justifies, therefore, all of their smear campaign, all of their this, all of their that. I have worked with multiple victims of abuse where the abuser has gotten them to put their acts onto tape. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Anyway, they get them to tape it. They get them to preserve it. And then when they break up, or when it looks like they're breaking up, the abuser will whip that out and be like, you leave me and I will send this to everybody. And they do that because they're looking for, record it. Thank you. Jesus, God, brain. Anyway, they're looking for something that they can use to blackmail. Now, here's the other funny thing is that everybody thinks that every single narcissist is a somatic narcissist. They are not. Somatic narcissists are the ones who are very, very into their appearance. They're the ones that don't go out in public without the makeup on, without the hair done to the nines, without the newest, baddest, bestest clothes and the newest Jimmy Choo shoes. I don't even know who the fuck Jimmy Choo is. But anyway, it's a shoe. It's fucking expensive. I wouldn't own one because I tennis shoes. Thank you. But the point being is they are the ones that, look fabulous. And they tend to be the ones that demand that their partners also are perfect, right? Like they'll be like, well, you have to work out all the time, or you have to do this, or your hair needs to look like this, and they'll start trying to make them over in their image. Okay. That is a part of sexual abuse as well, because this person is starting to lose their own identity. Okay. And then the message very much is, if you gain 5 pounds, you're not worthy. Who does that? Seriously. I'm sorry, the soul doesn't have a weight. Thanks for playing. Bye-bye. But these people, these somatic narcissists, are the ones that are very much into appearances. Now, here's the other thing. Not all narcissists are somatic. So you can have narcissists that use sex as a weapon that are ugly, short, dumpy, fat, not in good shape, not handsome, not beautiful, not anything else like that. But they will come off as, oh, I love sex, I love sex, I love sex, I love sex. I'll do whatever you want, blah, 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 blah. I'm a very sexual creature, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as they get their hooks into you, sex drives up. Okay, so you can't, there's not one type. There's different ways of abusing. There's different ways that they use sex to harm the person. And I think it's so harmful when they use the drying it up kind of thing, because they go after that person's, what am I trying to say? Like their basic who they are, because we are sexual creatures, most of us. I mean, there are some asexual people out there, but most of us are sexual, and most of us have a sensuality about us. And so when somebody goes after that, that's a way to harm that person to the core. So what I have seen abusers do, okay, they will humiliate their partner in public. They will air their dirty laundry in public. So they will say things like, oh, well, my spouse just can't please me, and he or she can't bring me to orgasm, or he can't get it up, or whatever. And I'm sitting there listening to this going, I wonder why. Maybe it's because you're a bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or you're an asshole or whatever. It's like, you don't say that about your partner in public. If you're having sexual issues, take it to a fucking therapist. Jesus Christ almighty. You do not air your dirty laundry in front of total strangers. But see, narcissists and abusers, malignant borderlines, don't have boundaries. They don't have boundaries, don't have boundaries, don't have boundaries. And they think that by them humiliating their partner, that they're getting the one up, that they're better, that they're this, that they're that. And it's like, in reality, healthy, sane people are listening to this going, y'all are nuts. Jesus Christ. So yeah, they will humiliate sexually their partner in public. They will say horrible things about them, about their performance, about their ability to either orgasm or get it up or whatever. And their whole intent is to put that person one down and to feel, that big. So that's what that is all about. And drying up the sex is a way to control, because when we are denied that sexual outlet, we immediately assume it's us. We immediately assume it's something we did. Did I not bathe? We immediately assume it's something like that. And it's not. It has everything to do with power and control. Pat Benatar, and somebody pointed this out. They posted it when I posted the, sex is a weapon thing. They were like, oh my God, Pat Benatar. And I'm like, oh my God, yes. So that whole song, sex is a weapon. Yeah. Or, here's the other thing they use it for. They use it to punish. So they'll get the partner involved in BDSM, okay? And again, there is nothing wrong with BDSM. However, big caveat, big warning flag, hello, check this out. BDSM is that they will, punish or torture or whatever sexually and then comfort and then punish and then comfort and then punish and then comfort. What does that sound like? Well, that sounds like trauma bonding. So you've got to be extremely careful if you're going to get involved in BDSM, because you've got to understand there's that element of trauma bonding going on. So if you're doing it, do it with somebody you trust, but that is something else that abusers do, is they use it to punish. They'll get the person to do things they wouldn't normally otherwise do, or they'll hurt them in the middle of sex and be like, oh, sorry, but not really sorry. Sorry, I got caught is more like it. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you've got to be careful with this. All right. So there's the bondage. I talked about, polyamorism. Let's talk about that. So if everyone is on the same page, polyamorism supposedly can work. I have not seen it work out yet, but there is a possibility that it could. However, human nature is that we get jealous, or we get insecure. Insecure, I think, is more like it. And then jealousy comes from insecurity. But polyamorism is stock and trade of abusers, because remember, the abuser always needs to have somebody that they compare the other person, the target to, right? So a harem, polyamorism, works great for abusers. It does. So this is why you've got to be very, very careful. If you're in a polyamorous relationship and one person in that polyamorous relationship is constantly comparing you to somebody else, or making it really clear that they are favoring somebody else, y'all are dealing with an abuser. That's all there is to it, because they're triangulating. They're using one partner against the other. So that is a concern, because narcissists do look for harems, and narcissists do look for, and when I say harems, that can be male or female. Okay. It's not just one or the other. They do look for a triangulation. They're always looking to force a comparison between somebody else so that that target of abuse is constantly fearful. Okay. It's all about lack and scarcity. It's all about not being enough. Because remember, too much, not enough. Oh, well, you're too emotional. You're too sensitive. But you're not good at this, and you're not enough in this, and you're not. Do you see where I'm going with that? They do this too much, not enough. You're too emotional, but you're not enough this, so, and that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for with those polyamorous relationships, is that they have somebody to compare and somebody to keep you comparing yourself against. Because remember, narcissists are all about comparison, because they constantly compare themselves to other people. They're constantly in competition with other people, and they expect you to constantly be in competition with other people as well. And let me just clue you into something. That is not a healthy relationship. Nope. A healthy relationship is you're you, they're them, you know who you are, they know who they are. There's no comparison. There's no competition. Why? Because you're not them and they're not you. And you know that. But narcissists don't. And they force that competition. And that is why polyamorous relationships can be narcissistic relationships, because if they're using somebody to triangulate you against and to compare you against, and you're constantly in competition with that person, Houston, y'all got a problem. So check that out. Be very, very aware of that. All right. I want to make sure I have covered all of this stuff that I wanted to talk about. So basically what it is when we leave the narcissist, or we're thinking of leaving the narcissist, if they have been the type to dry up the sex, right? Suddenly there's no sex. It's an asexual relationship. They're not interested. You're too much. You're too fat. You're too thin. You're too blonde. You're too brunette. You're too muscly. You're not muscly enough. Whatever their bullshit is. Then when you go to leave them, guarantee it. Guarantee it. The sex will come out of the closet, so to speak. They will be all over it. They will, oh, baby, 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 I've changed. You're right. We need to have more sex. This is a better thing. I love you so much. Blah, blah, blah. Suddenly the sex will be back to being amazeballs, but it won't last. It won't last. They pull that out, literally, when they have to, okay? Because they're trying to hoover you the fuck back in. Somebody said, it was so brilliant. Somebody, when I posted that also, besides the Pat Benatar one, was like, oh, is that a hoover I hear in the background? I was like, why, yes. Yes, it is. So they do. They use the sex as a hoover. So they will deny you, and then you're like, peace out, and you start to leave, and then suddenly they're all, oh, hey, baby, how you doing? And then they're back to being very sexual and very sensual and wanting sex and this, that, and the other thing. It doesn't last. And that's part of that. How do I explain it? It's part of the abuse cycle. And when they're doing that hoovering, our self-esteem has taken such a hit from them being cruel and vicious and mean and demeaning and humiliating in public that inner child desperately wants to be soothed. And unfortunately, we think that soothing needs to come from the abuser. So we go back to the abuser going, oh, it's going to be different this time. And it'll last for a little bit. And then the whole abuse cycle starts all over again. And you're going to start hearing the same bullshit all over again. Well, you're too much. You're not enough. You're too fat. You're too thin. You're a whore. You're a slut. You're a player. You're a this. You're a that. So yeah, and it never stops, and it just keeps cycling. It just keeps cycling. These guys and gals don't stop. And this behavior is found in both male and female abusers. Okay. They use it. And generally what I have found is that narcissists tend to be very attracted to non-healthy sexual practices, and they very much like to humiliate, and they very much like to harm, and they very much like to hurt, and they don't like intimacy at all. So, check out what your relationship is like. If you can have fun during sex and you're laughing and you're having a good time, that's a good sign. Narcissists take everything way seriously. I'm serious. I'm great at this. I need to be taken seriously. Oh, fucking bullshit. So, it should be fun. It should be adult playtime, naked playtime. That's what it should be. It should be fun. It shouldn't be serious. It should be fun. So, and you should feel good afterwards, not fearful afterwards. So generally when you're with a narcissist, you never feel good with them. Not really. There's always this kind of sense of, ooh, yuck, I've been slimed somehow. Or, damn, I'm not good enough. They didn't like what I did, or they don't like how I look, or, this insecurity kind of thing. And they play on those insecurities. Trust me, these fuckers look for insecurities and they go for it. They go for the gusto, and they say the most horrible things. They do, because they're trying to take you off kilter, and they're trying to make it about you. So whenever you hear you, oh, baby doll, they're talking about themselves. They are talking about themselves, and they want you to feel off kilter so that they can gaslight you more. Now, here's the other way they use sex as a weapon, and then I'm going to start taking questions because we're getting close to the halftime here. Halftime, like there's going to be a band marching through or something. Although Adam Levine would be very cool. Sorry. Which I call him Abdomen Levine, but that's okay. Tattoo's not my thing though. All right. Sorry, squirrel. All right. So the other thing that they do is they cheat. Okay. Narcissists are the cheaters of the world. They are, because they are so fucking arrogant. And I'm talking like real cheating. I'm talking like they, seek out sexual partners. They seek out liaisons. They seek out, sneaking around and motel rooms and things like that. Why? Because they're arrogant fucks, and they think they can get away with it, and they think they're smarter than everybody else. And then when they do get caught, it's, oh, baby, I've got a problem. I promise I'll change. They go to therapy once, maybe twice, 3 times at the most, and then they stop. And then they're right back to their ways. The other thing that I've seen with abusers is they're very much into porn, like really addicted to porn, and not just, how do I explain this? It isn't just that, they've been denied sex, and so they're turning to porn, because that sometimes happens as well. But they're like, really into it. It's not because there's not enough sex going on or there isn't a partner available. They just would prefer porn, because porn is, again, not intimate. It's separated. You got a screen right there. You're not with that person. So that's another reason why they like porn. Okay. All right. Let's start taking some questions here, because I have a feeling you guys are going to have a lot of them. All right, question. Is it possible that my ex wasn't really intimate or really present when we made love as I was because she used sex to control and manipulate me? Yes! Bingo! Yeah, on the nosy. Yes, you got it. Absolutely. Sex is never, let me just say that again, fucking never used to manipulate or control. It is a natural expression of love or lust for someone. It's like it just flows. You love somebody, you want to touch them. You love somebody, you want to have sex with them. That's the way it goes. So no, they baby doll, let me take a deep breath, people. Everybody breathe, because here's the truth. I'm going to drop a truth bomb on you. Narcissists don't love. They don't have intimacy. They don't feel anything other than pissed off when they don't get their way. They see us as nothing more than these glasses to be used. We are an object to them. They literally do not view us as a person with our own wants, our own needs, our own desires, our own sensuality, our own sexuality. They do not view that. They cannot think any further than their nose, okay? And people around them are objects to be used, like these glasses. That's all we are to them. And if we don't ask how high when they say jump, they do the discard. They do. So if sex is being used as a manipulation and a control, do this or I won't have sex with you, or do this and I will have sex with you, that's a manipulation and a control. It should be, and everybody's different. See, this is another question. I know this question is coming, so I'm just going to answer it now. So when I'm doing couples work, right, it's the two subjects that couples argue over more than anything is sex and money. Sex and money. And they're both control issues. Ooh, let's take a look at that. Hang on. And so the question I get is, how often should a couple be having sex? Well, it depends on the couple. It depends on your libido. It depends on where you are in life. It depends on whether or not you've got kids. It depends on whether you're both equally partnering and both taking on responsibilities for the house, or if one person is the one doing all of the parenting and all of the housework. And this is another thing that narcissists do. Narcissists will demand children, have that kid, and then abdicate all parenting and put it off onto the other parent. So if the narcissist is a female, they'll never lift a finger. They'll never do housework. They'll never cook. They'll never clean. They'll never raise the kids, and put it all off onto the male or female partner, depending on who it is, whether it's a heterosexual or homosexual relationship. So, and then vice versa. So men will demand to have children and then put it all off on the female or the male partner, depending on whether it's a heterosexual or homosexual relationship. So it's very telling. You can tell what's going on when I start questioning. It's like, well, tell me about your normal day, and what are your guys' responsibilities, and blah, 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 blah. And as soon as I recognize I'm dealing with a narcissist, I go, okay, we're done. I will see you both individually, but I'm not going to see you together. And of course, that never happens because the narcissist does not want the partner to figure it the fuck out. So I was going somewhere with that. Hang on. Oh, so the frequency of sex. So it really is a matter of, what is your libido like? What is your life like? What are you comfortable with? What is your partner comfortable with? And then you come to mutually, literally, satisfying arrangements. I'm sorry, but it's true. You come to mutually satisfying arrangements for sex. Now, for me and my husband, we both love sex. We do. And so for us, it's probably about 2 or 3 times a week, and we've got crazy busy lives and everything. So, but that's us. And so that may not work. And of course, we don't have kids. So that may not work for somebody who's got children. That may not work for somebody who's working 80 hours a week. That may not work for somebody. Do you see where I'm going with that? So it's a matter of becoming flexible, literally. I just turned into a 12-year-old. I am so sorry. Okay. So, it's a matter of being willing to be, to negotiate, to, I would really love some intimate adult time with you, and then making sure that happens. And part of the problem in modern day life is that with the jobs and the job market, which I will get off onto a political rant if I'm not careful, but with minimum wage, and you've got 2 people working, and if there's kids involved, you're going to be working yourself to the bone and not really have time for a lot of intimacy. And that's what kills relationships, because we get so focused on the survival. And really, we are at survival if we're working minimum wage jobs and we've got children and we're trying to feed and clothe them and we're trying to feed and clothe ourselves and we're trying to stay above the water. And oh my God, it really depends on what's going on in the person's life. And it's really important that no matter what is going on in your life, that you make time for intimate moments. Doesn't necessarily need to be sex, but we are sexual creatures. We are. And it's really important that our needs are met and our partner's needs are met, and that we're talking about it and we're communicating about it and we're trying to find a mutually satisfying agreement. So frequency, really, it's up to the individual couple. It really is. What is not normal is when couples come in and sit on my couch and go, yeah, we haven't had sex all year. I'm sorry, what? And it's not because they're asexual, because remember, there are some people out there that are just asexual. There's just no desire, no need for them. It's because one or the other partner is manipulating, controlling, not interested. And if they're not interested, Houston, there's a problem. So yeah, that's not normal. So the frequency is going to be up to the individuals, but really it's important to connect physically. Even if you're not having sex, give each other back rubs. Touch. It's that oxytocin, that bonding thing. You want to be bonding with your partner. You want to be intimate with your partner. You want to have fun with your partner. Like last night, John and I went to Fluffy. We had a great time. That man really needs to go on a diet, but he's funny and he's awesome. And I'm worried because he's got diabetes. And I'm just thinking, dear God, he's not going to live long if he doesn't do something about it. But, it's like, it's intimacy. It's fun, laughing together. It's huge. That is huge. Like, again, intimacy is about fun. Intimacy is about exploring things with your partner, either sexually or emotionally or intellectually or whatever. It's connecting with that person and really understanding them, and them connecting with you and really understanding you. That's what intimacy, and being emotional and allowing the emotions and not shutting the other person down. That's what narcissists do, is they shut the other person down. And so if you're a particularly sensual person, boy, that's what they'll zero in on. That's what they'll make you wrong for, because that's what they do, because they know that that's something that you're secure about, and boy, howdy, they don't like it. So I hope that answered that question. Okay, why do some narcs pretend to be submissive in BDSM when they are anything but? Well, they're control freaks. They're control freaks, and it's a game. It's a game to them. They want to see if they can out-dominate the dominant person. They do, because it gives them a sense of power and control. So remember, with a narcissist, guys, sex is never about intimacy for them. It is about power, and it is about control, and it is about how can I manipulate this person? How can I harm this person? How can I, do this, that, and the other thing? Hang on just a second. All right. How can we know the difference between real criticism and projection? All right, here's the deal. If your narcissist weighs 300 pounds and is telling you that you need to lose weight, that's projection. If your narcissist is participating in cheating on you and accuses you all the time of cheating, that's projection. Real criticism is never criticism in a healthy relationship. What it is a dialogue. And what it is constructive, okay? There is destructive and there is constructive criticism. So destructive criticism is exactly what these fuckers do to us, which is, you're fat, you're ugly, you're too this, you're too that, you're too short, you're too tall, your hair's the wrong color, you don't have enough muscles, you have too many muscles, you're too sexual, you're too sensual, you're too. That's all projection. That's all projection. It is. Because, okay, let's go back to Fluffy. If I were in a relationship with him, I would be, sweetheart, I love you. You are the funniest man I have ever seen in my life. I am worried that you are going to die because you are morbidly obese. Please, please take care of yourself. Please work on that, because I want you around, because you make me laugh and I love you and I think you're awesome. That's constructive, okay? Destructive would just be like, you're a fat pig and I hate you and da-da-da-da-da-da, and I don't want anything to do with you. That's destructive. You're hurting the person. So when we give constructive criticism to somebody, it's because we love them and we want them to live longer, because we like them. and we're concerned. And then we offer to do things with them. So that's like why John and I got involved with Jess. Jess is our trainer. So John and I decided to do this together because we both needed to lose weight and we both love each other and we both want each other to live a very long time healthfully. We don't want to be one of these people that's, crippled up and not being able to walk and not being able to do things, because we both love to travel and we both love to go do new things and try new things and go to new countries and all that sort of fun stuff. So, it's like when you love somebody, you encourage them. And you get to, you buddy system them. Okay. We're going to work out. We are going to work out. We are going to work on this. We're going to go pump iron. We're going to go, do the cardio. We're going to walk the dog every day, twice a day. We're going to eat. Do you see where I'm going? It's a team. It's a team. So healthy couples are a team. They are on the same team. They are on the same page. Unhealthy couples are like the 49ers against the Oakland Raiders, which they're not Oakland anymore. I think they're going to be Las Vegas. Anyway, so it's like 49ers against the Raiders, right? And not on the same team, not on the same side, constantly butting heads, my way or the highway. I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. Let me tell you something. If you're in a conversation to win, you've already lost. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. But that's what narcissists do. They're in conversations to win. It's all about the win for them. And they will use children as a pawn as well to win, because it's competition. Remember, they're always in competition. All right. Trying to find my question. Where did it go? So the difference between criticism and projection is criticism is not harsh, not mean, not terrible, not awful. It is supportive and it's loving and it's, I'm worried about you and let's do this together and we're on the same team and I'll help you. And that's a team effort. It's together, together, together. Whereas criticism is the you finger comes out. You did this, you did that. You're this, you're that. You need to work on that, without them helping you, partnering with you, buddy system, nothing. So yeah, or if they're talking about themselves, they're hugely obese and they're telling you, you need to lose weight. They're the ones cheating, but they're the ones accusing you of cheating. Hello, projection. Does that make sense? I hope that answered the question. If it didn't, let me know. Okay, do you mean that narcissists don't like emotional intimacy? Yes, I do. They don't. They don't know what to do with it unless they can manipulate you. So if they know that you are just head over heels in love with them, they will use that against you. Do this or I'll leave. Threat of abandonment. This is why narcissists love getting with borderlines, especially the quiet ones, because what they'll do is they'll dangle that threat of abandonment over their head all the time. And that leaves the quiet borderline in a state of constant panic, in a state of constant trying to please them to keep them from leaving. So yeah, they don't like emotional intimacy. They really don't. It makes them very uncomfortable. And you can tell this because what ends up happening is if somebody has a genuine emotion around them, they get angry. They get angry. Watch for that. If you're with somebody and you're expressing genuine sadness and they get mad at you, Houston, y'all got a problem, because that's somebody who is afraid of emotional intimacy. They can't allow their own emotions. They're not going to allow your emotions. And so they try to shut you down with anger. Now, that caveat can also be a flea picked up from a parental narcissist. So you've got to discern whether this is something that was a learned behavior because they were with a parental narcissist and they just haven't learned quite how to be comfortable in their own skin, or if they themselves are in fact a narcissist. And it's behavior. It's behavior. How do you feel when you're with them most of the time? If you're feeling good and it's not like this roller coaster of good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, it's mostly good. You know what I'm saying? Then you're okay. But with a real narcissist, they are exceedingly uncomfortable with true, real emotions. Like they get pissed if you show sadness or if you express anger or anything. And remember, these guys love to ruin holidays. They love to ruin birthdays. Love it. Love it. Because it's not about them. Because they can't understand somebody's joy on that day, or that they're happy about Christmas, or they're happy about Halloween, or they're happy. They don't understand happy. They're not happy. So yeah, no, they do not like emotional intimacy. It frightens the fuck out of them, and they will get angry and they will do everything they can to avoid being really intimate. All right, so there is that. My ex made love in the dullest way possible. When he saw me enjoying myself, he would immediately stop doing whatever made me feel good. Why? Because he couldn't feel it. They don't feel it, guys. They may feel it physically, but emotionally, And I'll tell you what, the greatest sex organ we have is not between our legs. It's between our ears. So if we're into it and we're really feeling the emotions and we're really allowing ourselves to enjoy it, we are emotionally engaged. We are physically engaged being the key word on this. We are engaged. We are engaged in every way, shape, or form possible. Narcissists can't be. And since they can't get it, they stop because they can't feel it and they're pissed and they want what we want. Remember? So remember how I was talking about narcissists? Like if we get something that they don't get, they literally throw a little temper tantrum and I want it too. And how come you bought yourself this, but I didn't get anything? Well, it's not your birthday and it's not your fucking money. So but that's how they act. It's like being in prison. It's like, hey, they got more sprinkles than I did. What? It's the same thing. So if they can't feel it, if they can't have it, they don't want anybody to have it because they're fucking selfish pieces of shit. There we go. And if somebody else is feeling good, yeah, they'll stop. They'll stop. Yeah, because they want to punish. So remember, when they get with us, guys, they want what we have. And what we have is empathy, emotions, sensitivity, sensuality, sexuality, feeling, intimacy. This is who we are. And they see that and they want it. And so they grab us and they get us by mirroring who we are back to ourselves. And then as soon as they realize that they will never possess what we have, really, they then set about to destroy us. They want us dead, guys. I cannot stress that enough. They either want us dead because of something physical they're doing to us, or they want us dead because of what they're doing to us emotionally. They want us dead because they're jealous, because they can never possess what we have. They'll never have the joy we have. They'll never have the happiness we have. They'll never have the sense of, adventure that we have. There'll never be that lack of doubt and fear, and that's why they instill doubt and fear in us, because they want us to feel as shitty as they do. So really, when you think about it, the term target is absolutely perfect for victims of abuse because they target us, because they want what we have. They're predators. They're trying to steal what we have. They're trying to steal our joie de vivre. They're trying to steal our sense of joy, our life, our happiness, our empathy, our, caring for other people and the light that we have. They want to put it out because it makes them recognize how not light they are and how mean they are and how awful they are, and they don't like it. And if they can't have it, nobody can, because they're selfish pieces of shit. Boom. All right. Okay, I hope that answered the question. My ex was very sexual in the beginning. Boom, that's what they do, because she knew I was sexual. After 2 years, she claimed to be asexual. Could it be true, or is it more likely to be a manipulation? It's a manipulation. If you're asexual, you know it. You know it. It's like you're born that way. I'm going to quote Lady Gaga here. You're born that way. You know it. You don't have that drive for sex. You're not interested in it. It's just not there. You're asexual. And there are simply some people out there that are that way. Their libido, for whatever reason, is just not there. It's either hormonal or it's abuse or they're just born that way. So for somebody to be incredibly sexual and then suddenly dry it up, nope, that's a manipulation. Houston, you got a problem. So yeah, no, yeah, nope, not buying it. Nope. It's a manipulation. Absolutely. Question, raised by a narcissist stepfather, I see a lot of the things you described within myself and my behavior. I'm 45 years old now and I don't want to be that person anymore. How do I begin to change? Get with a goddamn good DBT therapist, okay? Dialectic behavioral therapy, okay? What you're going to want to do is mindfulness. You're going to want to get the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. The next book you're going to want to get is CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. You need to figure out what messages that you got from your narcissistic stepdad that you believed were true, that you made about you instead of recognizing they were about him. So CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, an amazing book. Another book you want to get is Who's Pulling Your Strings by Harriet Breaker. Oh, I have it and it's out of reach. Damn it, it's on my couch. Anyway, Who's Pulling Your Strings by Harriet Breaker. Wonderful book. Another one is To Work on Boundaries is The Disease to Please, also by Harriet Breaker. So that's where you're going to want to start. You need to get with a really good therapist and you need to squish those fleas. And they can be squished. And you know they can be squished because they're not you. And you know that they can be not you because you want to change. Because let me clue you into something. Narcissists don't ever really go get help. So if you go to therapy once or twice and then you quit, then you're a narcissist. If you're going to therapy and you stick with it and you change, you're not a narcissist. So there you go. All right, hope that answers the question. So go get those books. If you're ever wondering where the books are, guys, I have them pinned. Are they pinned? No, they're in the notes section. If you go to my Facebook page of the same name, We Need to Talk, it's in the notes section, and I list all of the books that I talk about here every week. So go to that list, look up those books, go get them. You can get them used on Amazon. You can get them used on Amazon, and sometimes they're free on Audible. It depends. So go check it out. Go see if you can find them. Is it common for narcissistic men or women to have dysfunctions like always finishing early? And I mean always. Really? Yes. Yeah, it is. Because, okay, I'm sorry. Here's the deal. If y'all got a sexual problem, I'm assuming that you will fix it for yourself, if not for somebody else, right? Hang on. So, yes, because if there is something sexually misfiring going on, you would seek help. You would either go to your doctor and see what the fuck if there's something physical. So you always, this is the thing. You always want to make sure that it's not something medical first, okay? So you go get a full physical. When was the last time you had a full physical? You go get a full physical. You make sure everything is functioning correctly. Wonky things with the thyroid can change your mood. It can change your sexuality. Wonky things with your hormones, wonky things with your electrolytes, wonky things with fill in the blank, your vitamin D. You know, it's like everything affects the body. So go get, if you're having any sort of sexual dysfunction, go get a physical. Rule out anything physical first, okay? Then if it's not something physical, well, then now we're dealing with psychological. So you go get it fixed. What's the problem? What's happening? And if that person is not fixing themselves or working on themselves or bothering to go get a physical or bothering to figure out why they're having this problem with sex, because again, the greatest sex organ is between our ears. It's not between our legs. It's between our ears. So, if that's what's going on and they're not fixing it, then yeah, that's why. That's a self-esteem issue. If you love yourself, you make sure you're okay. Simple as that. Narcissists don't love themselves and they don't want to admit that there's anything wrong with them, which is why they don't like going to therapy. Because as soon as somebody goes, what's your part in this? They're like, fuck you, and they're peace out. So yeah, they can have dysfunctions. A lot of times they do. And it's because they're not willing to do anything about it because they don't want to admit there's anything wrong with them. Because remember, they have that whole perfect picture thing going on. So there is that. How do you know if you're coming from a place of constructive criticism and not control? I'm not sure I know the difference anymore. Can you clarify? What's your motivation? I hate to sound like an actress. What's your motivation? It really is. What is motivating you to say this? Are you doing this to control the person, or are you doing it out of genuine concern for them and you are going to be a partner with them and help them? If you're not going to be a partner with them and help them and you're just going to sit there and go, you're doing that wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're doing that wrong, well then fuck that shit. That is criticism. That is not constructive. That is basically making the person wrong in a make wrong machine. So when we come from parental units that are narcissistic and alcoholic or addiction, you know, that type of thing, there's a lot of these perfect pictures and they're make wrong machines. They are make wrong machines. The kid can't do anything right. You know, golden child, middle child, a scapegoat. There we go. There's the scapegoat. Scapegoat can't do anything right. And so they're constantly making him wrong, constantly making him wrong, constantly making him wrong. That's not constructive criticism. That's a make wrong. And there's a big difference with that, because with constructive criticism, you go, here's where I see the problem is. Here's the solution. Hello, here's the solution. Let me help you get from point A to point B together as a team. That's constructive. Non-constructive is where you just go, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I don't like this. I don't like you. I don't like I don't like the way you're doing. I don't like your sexuality. I don't like da, 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 da. Well, what's the solution to it? Give them a solution. That's constructive. Giving them a way out. That's constructive. And done with love. It's like, okay, I see this is the issue. I love you. Here's how I think it might work. What do you think? Let's work on this together. And if we're getting stuck, let's go get a therapist. That's constructive. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, let me know. All right. Is a lack of ability to be emotionally intimate during sex the cause of erectile dysfunction? Erectile dysfunction can have a whole bunch of different causes. There can be prostate issues going on, which is why I'm saying go get physically checked out. So, it could be emotional. It could be a physical issue. It could be a hormonal issue, low testosterone that can cause a lot of erectile problems. It could be diet. It could be obesity. It could be, fill in the blank. It could be a lot of different things, which is why I'm saying go get it checked out. What's going on? Figure it out. What's happening? Why is this happening? Is it a prostate issue? Is it a hormone issue? Is it a thyroid issue? Is it a, fill in the blank? What's going on? Why is this happening? You want to rule out anything physical first. You always do the rule out. It's like, I had a friend of mine that once said, when you're facing a problem, I want you to think, or if you hear hoof beefs, I want you to think horses, not zebras. So think of the most likely answer first, and then you can go to something else. So it's like, check that out, make sure it's not that first, and then move to psychological. Because there's a lot of physical issues that can happen that can cause erectile dysfunction. Absolutely. So do that. Why does my husband talk to our grown son about our sex life? That's a good one, and I need to talk about that. So here's the deal. Overshare. TMI, overshare. So what happens with dysfunctional, disordered people is there's no boundaries. There's no boundaries. And so the children become the therapist to the parent, or they become the confidant to the parent, or they become the ventor. The parent vents to the child. Let me tell you something. Kids don't need to know about your sex life. They just don't. It's none of their business. Nope. They don't need to know that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody needs to know that. This is between the two of you. If you've got problems, go talk to a therapist. If somebody is talking to a child, even an adult child, that's overshare. That is TMI. That is also not their problem. So why is this adult parent making it this adult kid's problem? So again, men and women, when we talk, women tend to be venters, okay? Men tend to be fixers. So if this guy's going to a grown son and, talking about the sex life, then this grown son's probably going, gee, I wonder how I can help. I wonder how I can do this. No, not their problem. Not their problem. So when we are raised in a family where there are no boundaries, where one or both of the parents are disordered, we do not understand healthy, good boundaries. And if we are ourselves disordered, we will just spew to anybody. I posted a meme about that earlier this week. It said, if you do not heal the wound that hurt you, you will bleed all over the people that didn't hurt you. Or something like that. But the point being is you got to fix that original wound so that you don't go spewing it all over everybody else. So that's not okay. That's not okay. Talking to kids about your sex life is not okay. Well, now, okay, caveat. So let's say a kid comes to you and says, Mom, I want to know about, oral sex, or I want to know about protection, or I want to know about whatever. And when I say kid, I mean teenager. Then you talk to them and you get as needed. Okay, it's on a need-to-know basis. Okay, you're not going to go into the intimate details of your guys' relationship and, your sex life and this, that, and the other thing. You answer questions appropriately, and and you leave it at that. So if somebody is doing that, that's not normal. Okay, so I will just leave it at that. All right, talking about fleas, I have the uncomfortable realization that occasionally I can be retaliatory. I don't know why. I don't want to be. What is causing this, and what do I do? Inner child workbook. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. So when you are being retaliatory, how old are you? How old do you feel? How old was this? When did this happen to you? When did you feel wronged when you were a kid? That's what it's really about. So retaliatory stuff is basically 2 to 3 years old, maybe 6, 7, round in there. It's not very old, because as you get older, you recognize, well, tit for tat, an eye for an eye is going to leave the whole world blind. So what's the solution instead? So you want to figure out why. Why? When did you feel you were wronged and you were powerless and you wanted to get back at that person? How old were you? So get those 2 books, get with a good therapist, start working on it. Start writing and burning letters to whoever wronged you. Write and burn. Do not send. Do not send. Do not fucking send. Okay? You're going to write and burn. So it's coming from inner child stuff. It is. It's not coming from adult you. It's coming from inner child you. So my suggestion would be get the Inner Child Workbook, get the CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, get the Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. Start working those. Start journaling. Write it out. Why am I feeling like I want to get back at this person? What is going on? How old do I feel? And then get in touch with that inner child and start working with that inner child. Absolutely. So there's that. So hope that answered the question. Is it common for the child of a narcissistic mother and father to have problems with emotional intimacy? Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Because we learn from our role models. And if our role models are not present, it takes children from disordered families twice as long to figure stuff out, because we didn't have the role models. We didn't have the how-to, the manual, for how to be a decent human being. So we have to start figuring things out. Again, get with a therapist, start working on it. Is it really that you're missing empathy, or is it just that you never learned how to have it? That you have basic empathy, but you've got to figure out that. So, a lot of good questions, guys. All right, I am going to end it here because it's been an hour. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, and thank you so much, you guys, for all of the notes letting me know how you're doing, that you've gotten out of bad relationships, that I'm helping. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. And I just wanted to remind you guys, go to Eventbrite, and that will have all of the events coming up on it. Also, my new website, www.chrisgodinez.com, will have blogs and things like that. I don't think I've put a blog up yet, but I'm going to. So there that is. If you guys have any show suggestions that you would like to see me cover, feel free to IM me on Facebook at We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez. And that is it. All right. I can't think of anything else. Chris, is there anything else? Okay, Chris is typing. Hang on. Okay. Nope. We're done. All right, guys. I love you all. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.